Even the strongest minds face moments of doubt, but winning, the quiet battle inside, is where real transformation begins. You know, there's a quiet battle going on inside your head right now. Every second, your brain is making a choice. Should I keep watching or switch to something easier? That tiny decision, that invisible calculation, happens thousands of times a day. And that, my friend, is what's quietly stealing your greatness. You see, your brain is like a business manager. It keeps asking one simple question: what's the best return for my energy? If something feels hard, but the reward seems uncertain, your brain says, nah, skip it. But if something feels easy, guaranteed to give a quick hit of pleasure, it says go for it. That's not weakness. That's not laziness. That's biology. Your ancestors didn't have Netflix or TikTok. They had survival. They had to save energy to stay alive. But in today's world where your phone can deliver endless dopamine in seconds, that same ancient wiring is being hijacked. And that's why you can't focus. That's why starting that project, or reading that book, or going to the gym feels like pushing a boulder uphill. It's not that you lack discipline. It's that your reward system has been rewired by a world designed to keep you chasing. Now, let me tell you something important. The same mechanism that makes you crave distraction can make you crave discipline. That's not a metaphor. That's neuroscience. You can literally retrain your brain to enjoy hard work, the same way you once enjoyed scrolling your feed. But you can't fight it with willpower alone. You need to reset the system. That's where the idea of a dopamine detox comes in. But listen, now it's not about quitting dopamine. You can't. You shouldn't. Dopamine isn't your enemy. It's your compass. The trick is to point it in the right direction. When you finally stop drifting through distractions, you start turning the compass around toward purpose and clarity. Imagine your dopamine system like a light dimmer. It's been cranked up to full brightness for so long that normal light, normal life, looks dark. You don't need a new brain. You just need to turn the dial down. So what do? You step back from the constant flood. Social media, endless news, mindless videos, junk food. Whatever it is that gives you that easy hit. Not forever. Just long enough for your brain to remember what normal feels like. Because once it resets, something amazing happens. That book that felt boring starts to pull you in again. That workout that felt impossible starts to give you energy. The small wins, the quiet victories, start to feel meaningful again. You start to feel alive again. But let me be real with you. The first few days are going to be rough. You'll feel restless. You'll feel agitated. Your mind will scream, just one video, just one scroll. That's not failure. That's withdrawal. Your brain is recalibrating. It's healing. And if you push through that discomfort, not with anger, not with guilt, but with calm awareness, you'll start to notice a shift. The FOG begins to clear. You'll realize you don't miss those hits as much as you thought. You'll start craving peace, focus, depth. As Seneca once said, if a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. You've been sailing with your sails open to every gust of distraction. Now it's time to steer. What truly inspired millions was the story of Mark, the turning point. That showed how small choices can rewrite an entire life. Let me tell you a story. Mark was a 42-year-old software engineer. Smart guy, hardworking. But he was stuck. He'd scroll his phone until 2 a.m., binge Netflix, wake up tired, and tell himself, "Tomorrow I'll change." Tomorrow never came. One day during a meeting, his manager asked a simple question, and Mark's mind went completely blank. He felt like his brain just froze. That night, sitting alone in his apartment, he realized he hadn't read a book in over a year. He hadn't finished a personal project in 2. He wasn't living, he was consuming. So he made a small promise to himself. 7 days. No phone after 8 p.m. No social media, no mindless scrolling. The first 3 days were hell. He'd reach for his phone every few minutes, like a phantom limb. But on the 4th day, something clicked. He found himself picking up an old guitar. On the 5th, he sat down to write code for a project he'd abandoned 2 years earlier. By the 7th day, he'd finished the prototype. Within a year, that side project turned into a startup that sold for 7 figures. But when people asked how he did it, Mark didn't talk about money. He said, "I just took my brain back." That's the power of rewiring. That's what happens when you stop letting cheap dopamine steal your potential. Life starts to make sense when you understand. Pleasure versus satisfaction. It's really the difference between escape and fulfillment. See, there's a difference between pleasure and satisfaction. Pleasure is fast, easy, temporary. It's like sugar for the soul. Sweet for a second, but leaves you hungry for more. Satisfaction, though, that's earned. That's lasting. It's the quiet pride that comes after effort. It's the deep breath after a workout. It's the calm after finishing something meaningful. Modern life has given us endless pleasure but robbed us of satisfaction. You can spend all day entertained and still go to bed empty. That's not living. That's sedation. You were built for more. You were built to build, to create, to struggle, to rise. As Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. And habits are carved by discipline. But here's the beauty. Discipline doesn't have to feel like punishment. Once your brain resets, discipline starts to feel good. It becomes its own reward. You start to want to do the work because it gives you that same dopamine rush, but from something real. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're installing the upgrade. That turns effort into energy and discipline into joy. Every time you delay gratification, every time you choose effort over ease, you're strengthening the higher part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, the part that plans, decides, creates. Meanwhile, the primitive part, the one that wants comfort and instant hits, gets weaker. It's like updating your operating system. Bit by bit, day by day, you're turning from someone who forces discipline into someone who enjoys it. It's not that the hard things become easy. It's that you become stronger. Your brain begins to crave challenge. It learns to associate effort with pleasure. And that, my friend, is when the game changes. You can't master your focus without reshaping the world around you to support your highest goals. Now let's talk about your environment. Because even the strongest mind can't win if it's living in a minefield of temptation. If your phone sleeps next to you, you'll check it first thing in the morning. If junk food is within reach, you'll eat it. If distractions are one click away, you'll click. So design your environment for success. Put your phone in another room when you work. Make healthy choices visible. Prepare your workspace like a temple. Create friction between you and distraction, and ease between you and discipline. Because your brain follows the path of least resistance. So make the right path the easy one. And remember, your circle matters too. If you spend time with people chasing quick dopamine, you'll chase it too. If you surround yourself with people who value focus, integrity, and growth, you'll rise with them. As Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Beyond resistance and doubt lies the freedom on the other side, where effort feels like peace and discipline feels like love. You might be thinking, this sounds hard. And it is. But here's the truth. Living distracted, unfulfilled, constantly chasing, that's even harder. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. Freedom is being in control of your own mind. It's waking up excited about your work. It's going to bed satisfied, not guilty. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I'm back. I'm driving now. When you rewire your brain for discipline, you're not losing pleasure. You're rediscovering joy. You're not becoming rigid. You're becoming free. Because true joy doesn't come from escaping effort. It comes from mastering it. When the moment comes to act, remember that accepting the challenge is the first step toward becoming who you were meant to be. So here's what I want you to do right now. Don't just listen to this and move on. That's what the old version of you would do. Think, what's the single biggest source of empty dopamine in your life? Identify it. Then remove it for 7 days. Just 7. Watch what happens. You'll feel the pull. You'll feel the restlessness. But if you stay with it, you'll notice something magical. You'll start enjoying the things that matter again. You'll feel yourself come alive. Write it down. Track your days. Document your progress. Because when you see your brain changing in real time, when you feel focus returning, you'll realize something profound. You were never broken. You were just wired for a world that changed too fast. You were built to grow. You were built to overcome. You were built to rise. And now it's time to rewire your brain. Not for comfort, but for greatness. Because greatness isn't born, it's built, one disciplined choice at a time. Remember this: pleasure fades. Discipline builds, and when you learn to enjoy. Discipline, to truly find joy in the climb, there's nothing you can't achieve. Your brain is ready to be rewired. The only question is, are you?